Welcome back inside of the Dynasty Draft Room. This is the Draft Seminar, and today we're talking about Cam Akers, the running back out of Florida State. John, this is a prospect we are very excited about here. He's gained a lot of steam justifiably in the fantasy football community, but folks like us who have been following his college career have been excited about him for a while. Cam Akers, the former five-star number one overall recruit in his high school recruiting class, is finally ready to transition to the NFL, and I'm very excited for it, John. So why don't you go ahead and intro our lesson here with Cam Akers.
Matt, I have been watching this young man play for 3 seasons. I drafted him in the first round of a dynasty draft 3 years ago. Now, unfortunately, failed to live up to those lofty expectations for the Seminoles. Nevertheless, he finished his career very strong. The sensational Seminole jumpstarts his career a year early, leaving after 3 seasons. Now, in 2019, he was second team All-ACC, and we have to put that into context. The ACC had A.J. Dillon and Travis Etienne, who were the first teamers. So he's in very good company in that conference. In 2017, as a freshman, he was third team All-ACC. When the dust settled on his career, he was one of only 7 players in FBS to score 3 or more touchdowns in 3 games this season. He concluded his career as the 6th all-time leading rusher and 5th with 586 carries for Florida State. And in their school history, he joined Warrick Dunn and Dalvin Cook as the only players with 2,000-yard crusades on their resume. Matt, this man has a very good career. What say you about Cam Akers?
Again, John, I mean, somebody that I'm just very excited about. I think this is a guy that we're going to be talking about here in the first round of fantasy football rookie drafts. I think he is considered just outside of that top tier of elite running backs that we have in this year's group. His talent proves the depth of this class and just how strong it is overall. I'm really excited here to jump into him a little bit more, John. And why don't you start us off by talking about his college production and how that translates to the benchmarks that you have set in place for projecting to NFL success at the running back position.
He has a very nice resume here, but Matt, there are some flags, and you have to look at it in context and its totality. Career rushing yards, 2,875. He does not have too much wear and tear on the treads. It's not like Eddie George and Ron Dane or even Jonathan Taylor leaving college. So he's got a nice middle ground there. Yards per carry, 4.9, but we have to put that into context. Florida State's offensive line has been terrible the last 2 seasons, and they have not been very good behind center. They have not been able to alleviate the pressure on the ground game. So I feel pretty good about 4.9 yards per carry. Now, he's also a much better pass catcher with 69 career receptions. So I like that also. Now, 2019 was really, really good, Matt. He had 1,369 yards from scrimmage, and he dominated the scrimmage yards distribution with 26% for the Seminoles, despite facing tons of pressure in 8-man boxes. Now, at the Combine, it really showed me how good of an athlete this young man is. His 40-yard dash was 4.47, and his 20-yard shuttle was 4.42 for a man that is 212 pounds. Now, I'm a tough grader, and I have a second-round grade on him. I think he's a little bit lower than the big 3 as far as potential here. But I do like him a lot, and I would not be surprised if a team takes him in the first round.
Absolutely, John. So let's go ahead. We could talk about him all night, but let's jump into the film and let's watch him because it is an exciting set of film to watch here. Again, Cam Akers, the running back out of Florida State, and we are going to start it off here, the first game of the season against Boise State, and show off his game-changing acceleration. You could see here that this Boise State defensive back that's coming down to play the box lets him get past him, doesn't wrap him up good enough, and at that point it is game over, because when Akers is running in a straight line down the field, his acceleration is game-changing, and it is going to be something that fantasy football players are going to really relish having him on their roster. You can see he gets in there easily. Great contact balance here against Miami. He breaks off of a tackle in the backfield, breaks off of a second tackle, and gets the first down at the edge. Clean cuts are the definition of his game. He is able to navigate the field in a very smooth manner here. It looks like he should be back behind the line of scrimmage, caught behind the line of scrimmage because his line doesn't block for him. But guess what? Cam Akers is used to that. He has the field vision, and he knows how to get upfield and find a way forward. And on top of all of that, John, that man has soft hands. He's a natural pass catcher, and he can help out your fantasy football rosters as a PPR threat just as much as he can getting yards on the ground. And we know for fantasy football, being able to catch the ball makes you a difference maker. And that's the film breakdown for Cam Akers, the running back out of Florida State.
Matt, I love watching him run, and those are great clips. Now, he's 5'11", 212 pounds. He's a violent runner with very good leg drive power and explosiveness, as you showed there. He attacks the hole rapidly. He finds a small crease, and he blasts through it. He has top-notch contact balance and rarely is tackled on first contact. He rambles with square pads and leverage. I love the fact that he challenges opponents and tacklers bounce off of his hip pads. He makes defenders whiff in tight spaces. He suddenly darts in and out of traffic, and he accelerates promptly. He is very good in traffic. I love watching him run between the tackles. What I like even more, he reaches overdrive in the secondary. Now, he played behind a poor offensive line and what I say, an underwhelming blocking scheme, which he may have acquired some bad habits. He has antsy feet and poor vision, and sometimes I think he has a loss of trust in his linemen. Now, I believe those could be corrected with coaching and with a better offensive line. Also, because he had poor blocking, I think he bounced the play outside too often. But I think these are all coachable, and I really like his upside in the NFL, Matt.
Absolutely. Here at the Dynasty Draft Room, we have him graded out at an 81.5. That is a mid-level starter projection. That's a very good projection here for our running back position. So we are big fans of Cam Akers. He's a top 5 fantasy football running back for us. And we could talk about his upside all day, John, but here's the bottom line. He's a guy that you want on your fantasy football roster. You can check out all of John's fantasy football profiles at footballdiehards.com and catch him on Twitter at GridironSkull91. That's Gridiron SCHOL 91. I am on Twitter at the FF_educator. You can find all of my work at dynastydraftroom.com. That includes the 2020 Fantasy Football Rookie Guide, 91 player profiles, chock full of information just like we shared today, including rankings for the entire 2020 class in terms of fantasy football. And that is now available for download, so make sure to go ahead and check that out. John, great lesson here on Cam Akers. Class is over. Pencils down.